Hey everyone, what is up? I am Exit over here and I'm here with my review for Supergirl Season 4 Episode 12 titled Menagerie, or Menagerie, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but there's going to be huge spoilers for the episode from this point on. So this entire season I've been Supergirl's biggest champion, mainly because this is the first season that I've thought not only had promise, but was living up to the quality that its plotlines required. Season 3 started promising, but overall I didn't find myself loving much from the season. I just didn't hate a good deal of it. Seasons 1 and 2 also had small sprinkles of greatness, but overall I think this season has so far had more quality and genuinely great episodes than any other season of the show. The only thing is that all of these episodes were in the first half of the season. None of the episodes we've had since the show returned in January have felt that good. There's been tons of scenes that are noteworthy, but they've all been so few and far between. It seriously feels now that the writers only really planned things out for the first 8 episodes, and now they have no idea how they want to get to the end game of the season, so they're just doing small Freak of the Week episodes until they figure out a way to get the plot running again. I know that pretty much every Arrowverse season has had their plots practically stop after the mid-season for a bit, but I was hoping Supergirl, in their possible finest season yet, they would at least put out strong episodes at this point of the season, even if they were mostly filler. Now, while this episode was kind of a disappointing entry, it still set up some really interesting and possibly strong plots that may bring the season back on track. Mainly the reintroduction of Benjamin Lockwood, aka Agent Liberty. After not seeing him for a couple of episodes, I was a little worried we'd have a switch in villain, like seasons 1 and 2 did. So it was great to see him make a return in this episode, as Ben manipulates his son into orchestrating the events that lead up to Ben's ultimate release from prison. These are an interesting turn of events that'll most likely lead to him being pushed to the forefront of Team Supergirl's agenda again, and I'm hyped to see where this leads the show. While I would love this to culminate in Agent Liberty being the season's overall villain, I still feel that it's a job being relegated to Red Daughter or Russian Kara. Another really intriguing plot that I didn't expect to get a follow-up this soon was the reveal that Manchester Black is coming back and on a warpath for the remnants of the Children of Liberty, as he's recruiting Kara's newest villain, Menagerie, to be part of his anti-alien team. The reason this has me so taken aback is that I was kinda worried that just like Liberty, we were done with Manchester for maybe the entire season. It felt like Manchester would be this kind of looming threat that came up every once in a while, like Supergirl's Captain Cold or Cupid. Not a big deal in the long run, but when they show up once or twice a season, they can do some damage. Speaking of both these looming threats, I think I gotta talk about what the hell the deal is with Red Daughter Supergirl. From the end of last season and the first couple episodes of this season, it was pretty obvious she was the main villain of the story. The wrapping of Lockwood in the mid-season also seemed to imply that they were clearly clearing the board to make space for her showing up fully in the second half. But now Lockwood is back in the forefront, something I'm happy about, and this really does beg the question, where the hell does Russian Kara fit into all this? I really hope that they somehow decide to have the Liberty Manchester stuff be the main driving force of the season, and the Red Daughter stuff just be a setup for next season. Otherwise we could end up with a Flash Season 3 situation, an overall decent season with enjoyable elements that is let down by its main villain. If we leave Red Daughter Kara's main stuff until the final 3-4 episodes, it doesn't flesh her out enough to make her very compelling. Plus, it even drives home the Flash Season 3 parallel even more, with the main villain being a literal twisted version of our hero. Okay, I feel like I've talked far too much about what I feel about the second half of the season rather than this episode itself. So one thing this episode did great was development on Nia and her superhero persona, Dreamer. The episode more or less started with Brainy wanting to train Nia, with Nia saying no. I feared this would lead to a full episode or two of Nia having to decide whether she wanted to be a hero or not, but luckily it only took her this episode to figure out who she wanted to be, and this led to us getting our first scene with Nia, not just in her costume, but actually being a superhero. And seeing that shot of her alongside Supergirl was really awesome. One thing these shows always excel at is making a costumed hero's debut feel so heroic and fun. It really feels like a comic book come to life, and 20 seasons on of these shows, they still find a way to make each hero feel unique. My only critique with her debut is that the soundtrack given to her felt a little too similar to that of Superman in this universe. It felt like it took beats from both the Supergirl theme and the Superman theme and just combined them to create Dreamer. I barely ever have critiques with Blake Neely's soundtrack because 9 out of 10 times it turns out to be phenomenal, but if I had to critique something on Dreamer's debut, this would be it. The villain in this episode was essentially DC's take on Venom, an alien snake called Menagerie that takes a host and feeds on the hearts of people. Fitting with the Valentine's Day theme of the episode, She was fine as a villain, nothing too spectacular or interesting, but she got the job done. They obviously wanted a Valentine's-themed villain for the episode, so this is what we got. There was more stuff concerning James and Lena's plot, and once again we get the feeling that James is being wasted as a character, not living up to his full potential, as instead of him being used for the Guardian plot, he's now being relegated to serving Lena's plot. Unfortunately, once again, the James-Lena stuff is one of the more uninteresting parts of their respective episodes. The storyline of this episode basically involved them breaking up, and that was kind of it. An interesting plot with Lena, however, is that she seems to be making some sort of contract with the government, so this should be interesting to see how it plays out. Besides the Dreamer and Liberty plots, nothing really happened in this episode, and it felt like another stall in the road for the writers to get the plot moving again. It feels like all three of the episodes since December have been on the weaker side of the season, and overall this was a pretty boring outing for the show. I just hope we start to pick up steam soon, and some of the momentum that the show has been sorely missing since we've returned starts to come back. It also doesn't help that the show is going on another mini break till March. So yeah, this was kind of a disappointing episode, and while there was definitely some enjoyable elements to be found, overall this is an episode I think will most likely be forgotten by fans of the show, so I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. So I'm keeping this review pretty short because it's already late enough as it is, with almost a full week on when the episode aired. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you, and have a great day.